The night sky over Montana was different. Melody Harris noticed it first. She stood on her cabin porch and watched strange purple lights dance across the stars. Melody was a weather scientist who lived alone by Whitefish Lake. She liked it that way. People were hard to understand, but weather made sense. "This isn't normal," she whispered to herself as she wrote in her notebook. The lights weren't in any book she had ever read. She took photos with her special camera and checked her weather tools. Nothing explained the purple glow that now covered the lake. Then came the sound. It wasn't quite music, but it wasn't just noise either. It seemed to come from the water itself, rising up like a song without words. Melody felt it more than heard. It made her skin tingle and her heart beat faster. She should have called someone. She should have reported the strange lights and sounds. But Melody was tired after working all day. Her eyes kept closing despite the amazing sky show. So she went inside, locked her door, and fell into her bed fully dressed. That night she dreamed of stars falling into the lake. She dreamed of water turning to silver and flowing up into the sky. She dreamed of voices calling names she couldn't quite hear. Melody woke with a weight on her chest, not heavy but definitely there. Her eyes opened slowly in the gray dawn light. 3 small faces looked back at her. Melody didn't scream. Later she would wonder why she didn't. Any normal person would scream finding strange babies on their chest, but these weren't normal babies. They had skin like polished silver. It didn't look like metal, but it shined softly in the early light. Strange patterns covered their little bodies, swirling designs that glowed with faint purple light. The same purple as last night's sky. Their eyes opened at the same time. 6 eyes with silver irises and strange up and down pupils like a cat's. They looked at her with a knowing that no human baby could have. "Hello," Melody said very quietly. "Where did you come from?" The smallest one on the left side of her chest lifted a tiny hand. 5 perfect fingers touched Melody's cheek, and then Melody saw things, not with her eyes, but in her mind. She saw huge ships made of what looked like crystal. She saw stars she didn't recognize. She saw a tall woman with the same silver skin, wearing what seemed to be moving metal wrapped around her body like armor. And she felt fear. Deep, terrible fear. "You're running from something," Melody whispered. The babies didn't answer, but all 3 snuggled closer to her. Far away, in a place humans had never seen, Queen Lyria of the Sentient Empire fell to her knees. The great war room went silent. Guards in faceless helmets froze in place. Advisors stopped mid-sentence. The Queen's silver skin had gone dull gray. Her crown of living metal twisted in distress, matching her emotions. The connection to her 3 daughters, a mental link all sentients shared with their children, had broken. 1 second they were safe in the royal nursery. The next, they were gone. "My children," she gasped. Her voice, usually strong enough to command 7 star systems, came out broken. "They're gone." Commander Kalia, the Queen's sister and most loyal warrior, rushed to her side. "Gone where, my queen?" "I don't know." For the first time in her 300-year rule, Queen Lyria showed fear. "Find them. Use every ship. Search every world. Someone has taken my daughters." The royal guards moved at once, rushing to carry out orders. Alarms sounded throughout the massive ship. Red emergency lights flashed in every hallway. "Who would dare?" asked Kalia, helping the Queen to her feet. "Who could?" replied the Queen. "The nursery is the most protected place in the Empire. No one can enter without my knowing." The chief of security approached, bowing low. "My queen, the transport logs show something impossible. The princesses didn't leave the nursery, they vanished. Their matter signatures simply disappeared from our space." "Nothing disappears." Queen Lyria's voice hardened as she regained control. "They are somewhere. Find that somewhere or I will destroy everything in my path until I find them myself." In Melody's cabin, as morning light grew stronger, she carefully sat up. The 3 babies moved with her, somehow staying connected to her. When she tried to set one down on the bed, it made a sound like bells breaking and clung to her shirt. Okay," she said. You can stay with me. Melody carried the 3 babies to her kitchen. They watched her every move with those strange, silver eyes. When she made coffee, they followed the steam with their gaze. When she dropped a spoon, they all jumped at the same time. You're definitely not from Earth, Melody told them. She touched the smallest one's cheek. But you're still babies. You need food, right? As if answering, all 3 turned to look at her refrigerator. Melody opened it and pulled out milk. The babies made happy sounds like wind chimes. Milk it is, she said, warming it carefully. As Melody fed the strange silver babies, she didn't know that government satellites had detected the unusual energy over Whitefish Lake last night. She didn't know that special teams were already driving toward her cabin. She didn't know that her life had changed forever. And up in space, just beyond the moon, the first scout ships of the Sentian Empire appeared in a flash of light. They were sleek vessels that seemed made of crystal and light. Inside, Commander Kalia gave orders to her crew. Scan the planet for royal genetic signatures, she commanded. The Queen's daughters are down there somewhere. A junior officer looked up from her screen. Commander, our records show this planet is labeled as too primitive for contact. The natives call it Earth. I don't care what they call it, Kalia replied. If they have taken our princesses, they will learn what happens when you steal from the Sentian Empire. Back in Montana, Melody didn't know why, but she felt a sudden chill. The 3 babies seemed to feel it too. They huddled closer to her, their silver skin cooling against her human warmth. Don't worry, she told them, not knowing why she felt so protective of these strange children. I'll keep you safe. The smallest baby touched her face again. This time, Melody saw a simple image. The night sky full of new stars that weren't stars at all, but ships. They were coming. Melody watched the 3 silver babies playing on her living room floor. They moved differently than human babies. More graceful, more aware. Though they seemed only a few months old, they could already sit up on their own and reach for things, with perfect aim. She had tried giving them names. The biggest one she called Lyra, the middle one, Nova, the smallest one, Stella. They seemed to like these names, turning their silver eyes to her whenever she spoke them. A sound outside made all 3 babies stop moving at once. Their little heads turned toward the window in perfect unison. Melody went to look. Black SUVs were pulling up to her cabin. Men and women in dark uniforms jumped out. They carried strange equipment and what looked like guns. Oh no, Melody whispered. She rushed back to the babies and scooped them up. They clung to her arms and shirt, making soft bell-like sounds. Melody didn't know where to go. Her cabin was small with few hiding places. A knock at the door made her jump. Ms. Harris, this is Dr. Abigail Wright from the Special Research Division. We need to speak with you. Melody held the babies tighter. About what? About the visitors you're currently holding. Please open the door. We mean you no harm. Lyra, the biggest baby, touched Melody's face. An image flashed in Melody's mind. People in white coats, bright lights, cold metal tables. Fear. I can't. Open the door, Melody called back. Please go away. Ms. Harris, the voice grew firmer. We detected an unusual energy signature last night. We know what you have in there. If you don't open the door, we'll have to come in anyway. Melody looked for a way out, but people now surrounded her cabin. There was nowhere to run. The door opened. Melody hadn't unlocked it. A tall woman with short gray hair and sharp eyes walked in. She wore a black suit and carried a tablet computer. 4 armed guards followed her. Ms. Harris, the woman said, taking off dark sunglasses. I'm Dr. Abigail Wright. I need you to come with us, along with your guests. They're just babies, Melody said, backing away. They're not human babies, Dr. Wright replied calmly. They're the offspring of an advanced alien species, one that could destroy our planet without breaking a sweat. She looked at her tablet, and based on our readings, their mother is on her way here, with a war fleet. Melody felt sick. How do you know all this? We've been watching the stars for a long time, Ms. Harris. We know about the Sentian Empire. We've picked up their transmissions for decades. We know they think we're primitive and not worth talking to. Dr. Wright stepped closer. What we don't know is why their royal children are in your arms right now. The middle baby, Nova, began to glow slightly. Purple light pulsed from the patterns on her skin. We need to go now, Dr. Wright said, suddenly looking worried. They're signaling. Signaling what? Melody asked. Their location. Please, Ms. Harris. We need to get them to a secure facility before their mother's fleet arrives, for everyone's safety. High above Earth, Commander Kalia saw the alert flash on her screen, a royal energy signature pulsing from the planet below. The ship's computer mapped it to a location, a small settlement near a body of water in the northern part of the largest continent. We have them, Kalia said. Prepare landing ships. I will lead the retrieval team myself. Her second-in-command frowned. Commander, the Queen ordered us to scan only. She will want to lead the retrieval herself. My sister can be extreme. In her methods, Kalia replied. These natives may have the princesses, but we don't know if they took them or found them. The Queen might destroy their whole settlement before asking questions. And you won't? Kalia checked her weapon. I'll destroy them after asking questions if needed. On Earth, Melody found herself in the back of an SUV, still holding the 3 babies. They wouldn't let go of her. When one guard had tried to take Lyra, both Melody and the baby had felt sharp pain until they touched again. They've bonded with you somehow, Dr. Wright said, watching from the front seat. Interesting. Where are you taking us? Melody asked. Cheyenne Mountain. We have a facility there designed for this sort of situation. You have a facility designed for alien babies? Dr. Wright almost smiled. We have a facility designed for first contact scenarios, though I admit, royal alien triplets wasn't exactly what we expected. The drive was long. The babies slept against Melody's chest, breathing in time with her heartbeat. Whenever they hit a bump in the road, all 3 would wake at the same instant. Look around, then go back to sleep. How did you know they were here? Melody finally asked. The energy surge last night was off the charts. We've been monitoring your area because of your research. When we saw the signature, we knew it was them. Them who? You keep saying you know who they are. Dr. Wright turned in her seat. They're Sentian, a species from a star system about 60 light-years from here. They have a vast empire of 7 star systems and dozens of colonized worlds. They're humanoid, obviously, but with significant differences. They're a psychic species. They communicate through thoughts and images rather than sounds, and they're ruled by a queen who is known for being ruthless. And these are her children? Based on the energy readings, they're the royal heirs, triplets born only once every few generations. Special, even for their kind. Dr. Wright studied the sleeping babies. What we don't understand is how they got here. Or why. Melody touched Stella's small head. They showed me things. Ships, stars. A tall woman with living metal around her. And they showed me fear. Dr. Wright's eyes widened. They're communicating with you, actively? When they touch my face, they put images in my mind. Ms. Harris, this changes everything. The Sentians don't share thoughts with other species. They think we're too primitive to understand. They arrived at a military checkpoint. Soldiers waved them through large gates built into the mountain. The SUV drove into a tunnel that seemed to go on forever. Welcome to Project Artemis, Dr. Wright said as they finally stopped in a large underground garage. For 60 years we've been preparing for this day. Inside the mountain was a whole hidden world. Labs, offices, living quarters, even a small hospital. People in uniforms and lab coats hurried around, giving Melody and the babies curious looks. They were taken to a medical room. A doctor named Patricia Summers tried to examine the babies, but they refused to leave Melody's side. This is unprecedented, Dr. Summers said. Their vital signs sync with yours. Heart rate, breathing, even brainwaves. It's like they've linked their biological systems to yours. What does that mean? Melody asked. It means we can't separate you, Dr. Wright said. Not without risking all 4 of you. An alarm suddenly blared. Red lights flashed in the hallway. "What is that?" Melody asked, holding the babies closer. Dr. Wright rushed to a phone on the wall. She listened, her face going pale. "Multiple objects. Just entered Earth's atmosphere," she told Melody. "They bypassed all our defense systems like they weren't even there." On screens throughout the facility, everyone watched 7 crystal ships descend from the clouds, positioning themselves over major cities around the world. "They're here," Dr. Wright said quietly. All 3 babies woke at once. Their silver eyes opened wide. Stella, the smallest, touched Melody's cheek. A single word formed in Melody's mind. "Mother." And then every screen, every phone, every device capable of showing an image around the world changed. The face of a woman appeared. Her skin was silver like the baby's. Her eyes were the same metallic color with vertical pupils. A crown of what looked like liquid metal moved on her head, forming and reforming into different shapes. "People of Earth," the woman said, her voice somehow perfect in every human language at once. "I am Queen Lyria of the Sentian Empire. You have taken my children. Return them unharmed, or witness the end of your civilization." The babies clung tighter to Melody. Stella touched her face again, showing her not fear this time, but determination. Another word formed in Melody's mind. "Chosen." Deep under Cheyenne Mountain, everyone moved fast. Soldiers ran to their posts. Scientists rushed between rooms with equipment. Military leaders gathered around large screens, showing the alien ships hovering over Earth's cities. Melody sat on a medical bed, the 3 silver babies still clinging to her. Dr. Wright and Dr. Summers were arguing nearby. "We need to tell them we didn't take the children," Dr. Summers insisted. "Show them our scans from last night. Prove the babies came here on their own somehow." "And you think Queen Lyria will believe us?" Dr. Wright asked. "You've read the reports. She conquered 3 worlds just because they were slow to answer her trade demands." Melody listened while watching the babies. They seemed calm, despite all the noise and fear around them. Lyra, the biggest, watched the doctors with curious silver eyes. Nova, the middle one, played with Melody's fingers. Stella, the smallest, kept her tiny hand on Melody's arm, keeping the connection between them strong. A new person entered the room. He wore a general's uniform with many medals. "Dr. Wright, we need to move the visitors to the secure chamber," he said. "The Sentian ships are deploying smaller craft. They're sending down search teams." Dr. Wright nodded. "Ms. Harris, please come with us." They walked through long hallways deeper into the mountain. The babies stayed quiet, their silver eyes taking in everything. Melody noticed more silver patterns appearing on their skin as they moved. The patterns glowed softly purple. "They're changing," she told Dr. Wright. "Their biology is adapting," Dr. Summers said, walking beside them. "Our scans show their cellular structure shifting to better match Earth's environment, and to better match you." "Me? Why?" "We don't know yet. But look," Dr. Summers pointed to Melody's arm where Stella's hand rested. Faint silver lines had appeared on Melody's skin, spreading out from the baby's touch like delicate branches. "It doesn't hurt," Melody said, surprised. "The bond between you is growing stronger," Dr. Summers explained. "Their DNA and yours are communicating somehow." They entered a large round room. The walls were thick metal. Screens covered one side, showing views from cameras outside. The alien ships were still hovering over cities. "This is our most secure location," the general said. "Designed to contain or protect extraterrestrial life forms depending on the situation." "Which is this?" Melody asked. "Containing or protecting?" No one answered her question. A woman in a lab coat brought food and water. The babies wouldn't eat normal baby food, but they liked fruit and seemed to enjoy drinking plain water. Melody felt tired. The stress and fear of the day weighed on her. The babies sensed this and curled against her as she lay on a cot in the corner. "Rest," Dr. Wright told her. "We'll wake you if anything changes." Melody closed her eyes. The 3 warm bodies snuggled safely against her chest. She dreamed of stars and crystal ships. She dreamed of a silver woman crying silver tears. She woke to alarms. The babies were already awake, their eyes wide. Lyra, the oldest, suddenly did something new. She sat up on Melody's chest and opened her small mouth. No sound came out, but words formed in everyone's mind in the room. Mother comes. She misunderstands. We chose this path. The scientists and soldiers stared in shock. Did everyone else hear that? The general asked. Telepathic projection, Dr. Wright whispered. They're not supposed to develop that ability until adolescence, Lyra continued, her silver eyes locked on Melody. We chose you. Your mind is quiet, safe. The others would use us as weapons. Others? Melody asked. What others? Nova, the middle child, joined her sister in the mental sending. The Hegemony Council. They rule behind our mother's throne. They changed us before birth, made us wrong. Now the adults in the room were asking questions all at once. Melody raised her hand for quiet. Let them explain, she said. Stella, the smallest, completed the story, her mental voice softer than her sister's. They made us to destroy, to reach into minds across space and break them. But we felt you, your planet, your minds are different, hidden from us, safe. You came here on purpose, Melody realized. You weren't stolen or lost. You ran away. All three babies nodded at the same time. Dr. Wright stepped forward. You're saying you chose to come to Earth? How? You're infants. Not infants as you know them, Lyra projected. Our kind is born with the knowledge of our ancestors. We are new but old. The screens on the wall changed suddenly. Queen Lyria's face appeared again. Your time is running out, she said. We have detected our children in your military installation. Return them now, or we will dig them out from your mountain. A man in a military uniform rushed into the room. General, we've detected multiple landing craft approaching our position. They'll be here in minutes. The general turned to Dr. Wright. We need to move them again. No, Melody said firmly, surprising herself with her boldness. I think we need to talk to the Queen, tell her the truth. She won't believe us, the general argued. We have to try, Melody insisted. These children came here for protection. They're asking for asylum. The three babies beamed at her, their silver skin glowing brighter. Dr. Wright thought for a moment, then nodded. We have the communication array from the crashed scout ship. We might be able to use it to broadcast the children's thoughts directly to the fleet. Do it, the general ordered. Scientists rushed to set up equipment. Melody sat with the babies in the center of the room. Strange devices with blinking lights were placed around them. This should amplify their telepathic abilities, Dr. Summers explained. Allow them to reach their mother's ship. The babies understood. They huddled closer to Melody, drawing strength from her calm presence. Ready when you are, Dr. Wright said. Melody nodded to the babies. Show your mother the truth. All three closed their silver eyes at once. The machines around them hummed and glowed. The patterns on the baby's skin lit up bright purple, and the same patterns now visible on Melody's skin glowed in response. On the screens they could see Queen Lyria on her ship. She suddenly stiffened, her hand going to her head. Her silver eyes widened. What is this? She whispered. My children? The babies sent their message. They showed their mother what they had learned before birth. The Hegemony Council's plans to use them as weapons, to amplify their natural telepathic abilities into tools for conquest. They showed how they had sensed Earth across the vastness of space, how they had found Melody's mind, somehow resistant to their powers and therefore safe. They showed their escape using abilities no one knew they had. On screen, Queen Lyria's face showed shock, then rage, then deep sadness. Is this true? She asked, her question reaching them directly. The Council has betrayed me? Altered my children? Without my knowledge? The babies confirmed it was true. Melody felt brave enough to speak. Your Majesty, your children came to us for safety. We didn't steal them. We're trying to protect them. Queen Lyria studied Melody through the screen. You are the one they bonded with. I see their marks upon your skin. Yes, I found them. I've been caring for them. They trust you, the Queen said, sounding surprised. I feel it through our connection. New alarms blared. A soldier ran into the room. New ships just appeared in orbit, bigger than the first ones. Dr. Wright checked her screen. It's not the Sentians, different design. They're firing on the Queen's fleet. Queen Lyria turned away from the camera, shouting orders. When she looked back, her face was grim. The Hegemony Council has sent their own fleet. They know I have discovered their treachery. Her silver eyes focused on Melody. Human, keep my children safe. I must deal with these traitors. The screen went dark. Melody held the babies tighter as the mountain shook from distant explosions. What's happening? She asked. War, the general said simply. Above our planet. The babies began to glow brighter. The silver markings on Melody's skin spread further, now covering most of her arms and beginning to reach her face. Something's happening to them, Dr. Summers said, checking her instruments. Their energy readings are off the charts. All three babies touched Melody's face at once. A rush of knowledge filled her mind. Sentient language, technology, history. She gasped at the flood of information. I understand now, she said, her voice sounding strange to her own ears. The Hegemony Council doesn't want to just use the children as weapons. They want to use them to control all telepathic species in this part of the galaxy. How do you know that? Dr. Wright asked. They're showing me. They've known since before they were born. It's why they fled. Melody looked at the scientists with new understanding in her eyes. And they came to Earth for a reason. Our planet's magnetic field. It disrupts their telepathic signature, hides them. The building shook again, harder this time. The hegemony ships are entering the atmosphere, someone called out. They're heading straight for us. The three babies looked at each other, then at Melody. A single thought came from all three at once. We must protect our new home. The room shook as explosions hit somewhere above them. Dust fell from the ceiling. The babies clung tighter to Melody, their silver skin glowing brighter. Those are orbital strikes, the general said, looking at his tablet. The hegemony ships are targeting this facility specifically. How do they know where to look? Dr. Wright asked. The children, Melody realized. The Hegemony Council can track them, just like their mother could. Lyra, the oldest baby, confirmed this with a nod. She touched Melody's cheek again, sending more information. The Council has agents called Seekers, Melody explained, sharing what she was learning. They can track royal bloodlines across space. They're coming to take the children. Why? Dr. Summers asked. If the children can be used as weapons, why not just eliminate them? The answer came from Nova, the middle child, her mental voice trembling. We are valuable. Our genetic code. They would remake us. Start over. Another explosion. Closer this time. The lights flickered. We're losing power to the outer sections, a technician reported. The shields won't hold much longer. The general made a quick decision. We need to evacuate. Get everyone to the lower levels. As people rushed to gather equipment, Melody sat quietly with the babies. She could feel something changing inside her. The silver patterns on her skin now covered her arms completely and spread across her chest and neck. Her thoughts felt different, bigger somehow, stretching beyond the room. Are you okay? Dr. Wright asked, noticing Melody's distant expression. I can feel them. Melody whispered. Not just the babies. I can feel the ships above us. The people inside them. So many minds. The babies watched her with their silver eyes, seeming pleased. You are becoming like us, Stella, the smallest, sent the thought. Our bond grows stronger. Dr. Summers scanned Melody with a handheld device. Her cellular structure is changing. The alien DNA is integrating with hers. Is it dangerous? Dr. Wright asked. I don't know. We've never seen anything like this. The general interrupted. We need to move now. The upper levels are compromised. They hurried through corridors deeper into the mountain. Soldiers ran past them, heading up toward the fighting. Melody could hear gunfire now. Earth weapons against something that made a high-pitched whining sound. The Seekers are inside. The facility? Melody said, somehow knowing this. 4 of them. They're not like regular sentients, they're wrong. Wrong how? Dr. Wright asked. Changed. Engineered to hunt. They don't think like people. They're more like machines. They reached a large chamber with thick walls. Inside were more scientists, soldiers, and strange equipment. This is the heart of Project Artemis, the general explained. Everything we've learned about extraterrestrial life for the past 60 years is here. One wall was covered with screens showing the battle above Earth. Sentient ships fought against larger, darker vessels. Beams of light cut through space between them. The Queen is losing, someone said. Melody looked at the screens. She could somehow understand what she was seeing. The hegemony ships have better weapons. They've been planning this. They wanted the Queen to discover their betrayal. Why? Dr. Wright asked. To eliminate her. She's too powerful, too independent. They've been waiting for an excuse to replace her with someone they can control. A new alert sounded. A scientist called out, "We're receiving a transmission from the Sentient Royal Ship." Commander Kalia's face appeared on screen. She looked like a younger version of Queen Lyria, with the same silver skin and eyes. "Humans," she said urgently. "The Queen has been injured. The hegemony forces are stronger than we anticipated. We cannot hold them back much longer." "What do you want us to do?" the general asked. "Protect the royal children at all costs. If the hegemony takes them, they will use them to enslave minds across multiple star systems." The screen changed, showing corridors within the mountain facility. Strange figures moved through them. Tall, thin beings with silver skin stretched, too tight over their frames. Their eyes were empty black spaces. They moved in jerky, unnatural ways. "Seekers," Melody whispered. "They're coming for the children." The babies sensed the danger. They began to glow brighter, the patterns on their skin shifting rapidly. Melody felt something building inside her, a power she didn't understand but somehow knew how to use. The silver patterns on her skin pulsed with purple light. "I think I can help," she said. Dr. Wright looked concerned. "How? What are you going to do?" "The babies changed me for a reason. They knew this would happen." Melody stood, holding all 3 children close. "I need to get to a higher level, closer to the surface." "That's where the Seekers are," the general protested. "I know. Take me there anyway." Something in Melody's voice made them listen. The general nodded to 2 soldiers, who escorted Melody, Dr. Wright, and Dr. Summers back up through the facility. They emerged in a large hangar area. The massive doors at one end were dented inward as if something had tried to force them open. Soldiers crouched behind barricades, weapons ready. "They're just outside," one soldier reported, "cutting through the doors." Melody walked to the center of the hangar. The babies hummed softly against her chest, a sound like distant bells. "What are you doing?" Dr. Wright asked. "What the babies brought me here to do," Melody answered. Her voice sounded different now, deeper, with strange harmonies. The hangar doors burst open. 4 Seekers stepped through. They were horrifying. Up close, not quite sentient anymore, twisted into something unnatural. Their limbs were too long, joints bending the wrong way. Their faces had no features except those terrible empty eyes. "Give us the children," they spoke in unison, their voices flat and cold. Soldiers opened fire. Bullets hit the Seekers but seemed to pass through them without effect, as if they weren't fully solid. Melody stepped forward. The babies lifted their small hands, touching her face all at once. Power surged through Melody. The silver patterns on her skin erupted with bright purple light. She raised her hand toward the Seekers. "You will not take them," she said. A wave of energy pulsed from Melody's hand. When it touched the first Seeker, the creature froze. Its empty eyes widened. Then it simply collapsed, like a puppet with cut strings. The other 3 Seekers rushed forward. Melody sent another pulse of energy. 2 more fell. The last one reached for her, its twisted fingers almost touching the baby's. Lyra, the oldest child, raised her tiny hand. A beam of silver light shot from her palm, striking the seeker. It screamed, a terrible sound like metal tearing, and fell to the ground. Everyone stared at Melody and the babies. The silver patterns now covered Melody's entire body. Her eyes had changed too. Human brown now swirled with silver. "How did you do that?" Dr. Summers asked in amazement. "The children's abilities," Melody explained. "They weren't made just for destruction. Their powers can protect as well as harm." The council only saw the weapon potential, not the defense potential. The ground shook again as more explosions hit the mountain. "The hegemony ships are concentrating fire on us," the general said. "Our defenses won't last much longer." Melody looked at the babies. "We need to stop this. Can we reach your mother?" The babies nodded in unison. Melody turned to the others. "I need to get outside. We need to send a message to all the ships at once." "Outside?" Dr. Wright looked shocked. "It's a battlefield up there." "It's the only way. The mountain blocks their telepathic abilities. We need clear sky." The general hesitated, then nodded. "We have a transport helicopter on the landing pad. It might still be operational." They moved quickly through the facility, heading upward. More soldiers joined them as they went, forming a protective ring around Melody and the babies. Finally, they reached a small door that led outside. Through it, Melody could see the landing pad, and beyond that, the sky filled with battling ships. Beams of light cut through clouds. Smaller craft zoomed back and forth, some crashing in the distance. "Stay close to us," the general ordered as they moved toward the helicopter. They had almost reached it when a new ship appeared directly overhead. It was smaller than the others, sleek and fast. It landed on the far side of the pad, and a ramp extended from its side. Commander Kalia stepped out along with 6 Centayan guards in gleaming armor. "The royal children," Kalia called out. "Quickly, the Queen has ordered me to take them to safety." Melody stopped walking. The babies gripped her tighter and she felt their fear. "They don't want to go with you," she said. Kalia's silver eyes narrowed. "I am their aunt, their protector. They must come with me." Stella, the smallest baby, touched Melody's cheek. Images flashed in Melody's mind. Kalia meeting secretly with council members. Kalia allowing the genetic manipulation of the royal children. Kalia planning to replace her sister as queen. "You betrayed them," Melody said, her voice hard. "You worked with the council." Kalia's face showed surprise, then anger. "You know nothing, human. Give me the children or die where you stand." The Sentian guards raised strange weapons. Melody felt calm despite the danger. The babies were with her. Their power flowed through her. "The children showed me the truth," she said. "You're not here to save them. You're here to finish what the council started," Kalia snarled, revealing pointed teeth. "Then we'll take them from your corpse." Before the guards could fire, the sky above them lit up with blinding light. A massive ship appeared, larger than any they had seen before. It was the Queen's flagship, damaged but still. Queen Lyria stood before Melody, tall and regal despite her injuries. Her silver skin gleamed in the sunlight. The living metal crown on her head shifted and moved, reflecting her emotions. The 3 babies looked at their mother. They made no move to go to her, staying close against Melody's chest. "They don't trust me," Queen Lyria said softly. Her voice sounded different now, less commanding, more sad. "They love you," Melody replied, somehow knowing this was true. "But they fear what waits for them if they return." The Queen's silver eyes moved to Kalia, who lay unconscious on the ground. "My own sister. All these years she worked against me." The general stepped forward cautiously. "Your Majesty, there's still a battle going on above us. The hegemony ships are being dealt with," Queen Lyria finished. "My loyal commanders are engaging them. But we need to end this conflict quickly before your planet suffers more damage." A soldier ran up to the general. "Sir, More hegemony troops have landed on the south side of the mountain. They're heading this way. Queen Lyria turned to Melody. The council wants my children. They won't stop until they have them. Melody felt the baby's thoughts merge with hers. An idea formed. Not entirely hers, not entirely theirs, but something new born from their connection. We can stop them, Melody said. Together. How? The Queen asked. The children have abilities the council doesn't understand. They weren't just made to destroy minds. They can link them, create understanding. Dr. Wright looked concerned. What exactly are you suggesting? A way to end the war, Melody explained. Show everyone the truth at once, but we need your help. She looked at Queen Lyria. All of us together. The Queen hesitated only a moment before nodding. Tell me what to do, Melody explained the plan quickly. The babies would use their combined telepathic abilities, amplified through both Melody and their mother, to reach every mind in the battle, showing the truth about the council's betrayal and their plans for the royal children. It's dangerous, Melody admitted. The strain could hurt all of us, but it might be the only way to stop this without more destruction. Queen Lyria stepped closer. My children trust you, so I will trust you too. They formed a circle. Melody with the three babies, Queen Lyria, Dr. Wright, Dr. Summers, and the General. The babies began to glow brighter, their silver skin pulsing with purple light. The patterns on Melody's skin responded, glowing in the same rhythm. Focus on the truth, Melody instructed. Think about what the children have shown us. The council's plans, the betrayal, everything. Queen Lyria placed her hands on Melody's shoulders, connecting the circle. Energy flowed between them, from the babies to Melody, from Melody to the Queen and back again. The silver patterns on Melody's skin spread to everyone in the circle, creating delicate lines across their skin. Dr. Wright gasped as the patterns reached her face, but she didn't break the connection. Above them, the battle paused. Ships stopped firing. Everyone, sentient, hegemony, human, felt the touch of the royal children's minds. Images flowed outward from the mountain. The council's secret meetings, the genetic manipulation of the royal children, the plans to use them as weapons of conquest, Callia's betrayal of her sister, the children's escape to Earth seeking sanctuary. And finally, the truth about the Hegemony Council's ultimate goal, to control not just the sentient empire, but all telepathic species throughout the galaxy. Melody felt the strain as the connection spread farther. Blood ran from her nose. The babies whimpered in pain but kept sending their message. Queen Lyria's face showed the agony of the effort, but her eyes remained determined. It's working, Dr. Summers whispered, watching the screens where they could see the ships above. They've stopped fighting. The circle held for 3 more minutes, though it felt like hours to Melody. Then, finally, the babies released their grip on her. The glow faded from their skin. Queen Lyria staggered backward, exhausted. Is it over? The general asked. Before anyone could answer, new transmissions came through on all channels. Sentient commanders were reporting that hegemony ships were standing down. Some were even turning against other hegemony vessels. The truth has broken their unity, Queen Lyria said, her voice weak but triumphant. Not all who served the council knew of their true plans. Many were deceived, as I was. The babies curled against Melody, tired but safe. Stella, the smallest, touched Melody's cheek one last time. A simple image appeared. Melody and the 3 children together under Earth's sky. Queen Lyria saw the exchange and stepped forward. You wish to stay with her? She asked the babies directly. All 3 nodded. The Queen's face showed pain, but also understanding. The royal prophecy, she said softly. A divided bloodline reunited through an alien heart. I never understood, until now. What does that mean? Melody asked. It means my children have chosen their path. Queen Lyria touched each baby gently, and perhaps it is the right one. 3 days later, Melody sat in a new room in a different part of the facility. The walls were painted bright colors now, with pictures of stars and planets. toys suitable for the baby's advanced minds lay scattered on the floor. Dr. Wright entered carrying papers. "The treaty is signed," she announced. "Earth is now officially under sentient protection, and in return, we'll host the new Royal Academy here." "The Queen agreed to that?" Melody asked, surprised. "She insisted on it. She says her children chose Earth for a reason. The unique properties of our planet that block telepathic scanning make it the perfect place for them to grow up safely, away from those who might still wish to use them." Melody looked down at the babies playing near her feet. They were growing already, their bodies developing faster than human children. Lyra could now stand on her own. Nova was building complex structures with blocks. Stella still preferred to stay closest to Melody, often touching her to share thoughts and images. "And my role in all this?" Melody asked. "You're officially the Royal Guardian," Dr. Wright said with a smile. "With diplomatic status in both human and sentient governments, the Queen was quite clear that you're the only one she trusts with her children." "Will she visit them?" "Yes. She's establishing a royal residence nearby. But she agrees they should stay primarily with you. The bond between you is too important to break." Melody touched the silver patterns on her skin, now a permanent part of her. "And what about these changes in me?" "We're still studying that. The genetic modifications seem stable. You're still human, but enhanced. The Queen believes you're the first of what she calls a bridge species, humans who can connect telepathically with sentients." The door opened again. Queen Lyria entered, wearing simpler clothes now instead of her battle armor. Her crown was smaller, less intimidating. The babies made happy bell-like sounds when they saw their mother. She knelt down to their level, touching each one gently. "They are growing well," she said to Melody. "You care for them as if they were your own." "In a way they are now," Melody replied. "We're connected." The Queen nodded. "That is why I have come today, to thank you and to make you an offer." "What kind of offer?" "The genetic bond you share with my children has opened new possibilities for both our peoples. Others like you, humans compatible with our telepathic abilities, could help create true understanding between our species." "You want more humans to bond with sentients?" "Only those who choose it freely," the Queen clarified. "As ambassador between our worlds, you could help find such people. Those who, like you, might welcome a deeper connection." Melody thought about how her life had changed in just a few days. From a lonely scientist in a cabin to guardian of alien royalty and now, possibly, an ambassador between worlds. "I'll need help," she said finally. "You will have it," Queen Lyria promised. "From both worlds." Later that evening, Melody sat on the balcony of her new living quarters. The facility had been converted into an embassy now, with areas for both humans and sentients to work together. The three royal children slept peacefully in a crib nearby. Though they needed less sleep than human babies, they still followed Melody's rhythm, resting when she did. She looked up at the stars, knowing they looked different now. Some of those points of light were home to worlds that were now connected to Earth through the strange family she had formed. Queen Lyria joined her on the balcony, her silver skin glowing softly in the moonlight. "They sleep just as they did when I first found them," Melody said, all three curled together. "They feel safe with you," the Queen replied, "as they never did in the royal nursery." "Because they knew about the Council's plans?" "Yes. Even before birth, their minds were aware. They felt the danger." Queen Lyria looked at her sleeping children with sadness. "I failed to protect them." "You didn't know. A mother should know when her children are in danger." Melody didn't argue. Instead, she asked, "What happens now? To the Council?" "Many have been arrested. Some escaped. It will take time to find them all and rebuild our government." The Queen turned to Melody. "That is another reason why my daughters must stay here, where it's safe." "I'll protect them," Melody promised. "I know." Queen Lyria touched the silver patterns on Melody's arm. "The bond you share is sacred among my people. In our oldest traditions, Such connections were common, different species joining minds to create something greater than either alone. And now it can happen again?